WHOW.jobpost.com. It's part of our comprehensive radio and internet employment campaign designed to get your job openings noticed. For details, just reach out to your account manager. Put the power of radio and the internet to work for you at IllinoisJobPost.com.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The city of Clinton on Tuesday night approved the purchase of property on Illini Drive in Clinton for its new city hall. Clinton Mayor Helen Michalossi has made a new city hall a priority since she campaigned for mayor in the spring of 2025 and feels this is a big step forward. City Administrator Tony Harris indicates it was conversations with the property owner that led to the purchase of a former medical center.
We certainly did. And Tony, I think you can speak to the negotiation on that a lot as well, since you were involved in that from the beginning to secure that new city hall. It's at 803 Illini Drive, which was formerly Dr. Sid Roscheid's building.
Well, this started with a phone call from Sid, and he told me that he's going to be listing his property for sale, and I thought, man, that could be a good location for one of the three new facilities that we're looking for. So I made a phone call to the mayor, and we started just basically talking about. I had a brief meeting with Clint, our treasurer, and got a preliminary budget from him on what we can afford for City Hall, Fire Department, Police Department, and then further discussion with the mayor. It was her belief that she wanted to not just single one out and do one, first. We kind of wanted to have a plan in place as to, if we're going to move there for City Hall, she wants a plan for Police Department and Fire Department. That doesn't mean we're going to start building each of those because we don't have a definite location for those yet, but her goal was to get one announced, get the location announced on all three of those. So this is one step. Again, we're still in the early stages of it. They just voted on it, approved it last night, and we'll start moving forward. But it has been talked about for the last 3 or 4 months, I think, somewhere in there. Yeah. But then officially brought up at the council meeting and voted on.
The purchase price of the property was just over $700,000. Which Harris points out was the appraised value. Mayor Michalossi says the building is very well suited to accommodate the needs they would have for a city hall facility.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. What was agreed on with the landowner for what we voted on last night, he asked us to get it appraised, and then he would just accept the appraised value. And I don't have those numbers in front of me. I want to say it was $730,000, which we felt was, fair, and that's directly coming from the appraiser. That's what he said he would accept, and is what was voted on.
And one of the advantage of purchasing this property was, when we took a look at it, is it needs really minimal renovation. The office layout, the bulk of the building is laid out perfectly for city business, as well as an area where they're going to have to obviously build a city council chambers in that building. And even that, the walls are such. Sid Roscheid, I believe, is also an engineer. So when he built that, it's structurally so that we can just go in there and for minimal dollars, put that city council chambers in there and be relatively good to go.
Harris indicates they have not started to come up with designs or renovation plans for the building because they are seeking to keep costs down. The renovation of the interior will be the next step in the process.
We're moving along, but still in the very, very early stages of this. Voted to purchase it. Now we're going to move forward with design. We don't have anything. We've had, some discussions, what we would like to see in a design, but nothing on paper as of yet.
We asked the people that actually work in the city hall what they needed, and took a long, hard look at the space that they had now and the space they would need. and then looked at Sid's building and to see if that was at all feasible for us to go forward with.
Some of those studies are already done. It was before I came on, before you
Mhm.
came on, Mayor, where I don't know what was spent, but there was a design, a build design
was.
and a study done. We still have those, but we just didn't feel like we wanted to spend more money for another study to be done or design build. So, we're trying to keep the cost down. That's why we started where we started, and just talking, just verbal communication with an architect, just to kind of give us some, kind of lead us and give us some input. Okay, we bought the building now. Now where do we go with trying to get a design?
Because money is finite. It's city money, it's taxpayer money, it's your money, it's my money, it's Tony's money. So you want to be conscious of that all the time.
Mayor Michelossi hopes to have a location announced for the new fire station in the next few weeks, and soon after, a location for the new police station. She emphasizes the police and fire will not share a facility or location. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, DeLand-Weldon schools recover from tornado damage. The use of e-bikes, particularly among school-aged kids, has skyrocketed in communities across the country, and it is prompting warnings from local authorities as kids utilize them for transportation to and from school. Clinton Police Department School Resource Officer Cody Mayer indicates they spent the days and weeks leading up to the start of school educating kids on the fact that e-bikes utilize the same rules of the road as automobiles.
And e-bikes are definitely a challenge, but since they've come out, we've had more complaints about all kinds of bicycles. These last few weeks, I've been just getting out with kids and talking to them. I've probably talked to 20 different kids about, hey, do you know rules of the road? Like, I see them just run a stop sign. Do you know that you have to obey that, whether it be an e-bike or a regular bike? One thing I've also been, and this is good for the parents to know too, I've been telling these kids, like, you can get a traffic citation on a bicycle. What do you think the state of Illinois is going to do with your driver's license at 16 if you get a traffic citation when you're 14? Are you going to get your driver's license when you turn 16? That's going to be up to the state and the judge. So you don't want to mess up that big thing you've been looking forward to for years because you did a dumb thing on a bicycle when you were 14. With the schools, the junior high and the high school specifically, we do see a lot of the e-bikes. If you drive down Illini Drive or 54, you'll see our bike racks with those e-bikes parked out there and chained up. As we've talked about earlier, those are high traffic areas when school is back in session. So it's important that, one, the parents doing drop-off, pickup are paying attention, but those kids need to know the rules of the road and follow them. We have had lots of complaints, specifically on Illini Drive, about kids not following those rules. So it can be dangerous, but if they pay attention, if they know the rules, which during 6th grade, I do teach them a portion about that. If they're paying attention, they know the rules, they're following those rules, it makes it a safer situation.
According to Officer Mayer, young people can ride these e-bikes. However, come January 1st, 2027, new laws come into play for e-bikes that will put age restrictions on them. He encourages parents to become familiar with these laws and how they will impact their child and any e-bike they may own.
Come January 1st, there's going to be new laws in place. Something maybe parents need to think about as they're thinking about Christmas, going to buy their kid one of these bikes or something like that.
Okay.
January 1st, you have to be 15. Junior high age students will not be able to drive these past January 1st. And that's for class 1 and 2, which go up to 20 mile an hour.
Okay.
A lot of these kids right now are riding those e-bikes that go faster than that. Those are considered class 3. And at class 3, which goes up to 28 mile an hour, you have to be 16 to drive those. So those laws are going to come in effect January 1st. That's probably going to be a big frustration for some parents because they've dropped a lot of money on these things for these kids, and now they're just going to sit in the car or in the garage. But January 1st, the answer is going to be no for a junior high age student.
Last month, with the Hart Media Group, Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers discussed in depth the many issues e-bikes are presenting the community. But as it relates to the community's youth, he is not imploring the owners of these e-bikes to be mindful of the rules of the road. He is hoping motorists with a keen eye will keep a lookout for kids utilizing them until the law changes on January 1st.
We talked about that last month, and we get an exorbitant amount of complaints about the e-bikes and the scooters. While I think they're a great resource and to have, and when operated safely and whatnot, it's a great thing to have available to us. But The complaints that we get are more oftentimes the operation of them, not the mere existence of them. It's the running the stop signs. It's the lane usage, that they're required to stay to the farthest right side of the roadway in with the correct traffic flow, direction of traffic flow, hand signals when turning, but stopping, pulling in and out of parking lots, sliding across lanes of traffic, things of that nature. It's the operation of, and there again, as Officer Mayer had said, the younger kids riding them may not be familiar with the rules of the road. Some of the adults riding them, the reason they are is because they've lost a driver's license. Well, there was a reason that they lost it, and they're not any better at operating an e-bike.
Like Officer Mayer, the chief is imploring parents to be intentional about making sure their kids understand those bikes must adhere to the rules of the road. He feels it is a matter of when, not if, they have an incident involving an e-bike and a motorist.
From my standpoint, the majority of the conversations that I have are about the operation of them, not necessarily the mere existence of them. And so that's what we've got to be cognizant of. And we will and will continue to enforce those rules of the road. And as Officer Mayer said, do you want to have a stack of traffic tickets against you before you even turn 16 because you were operating, irresponsibly operating an e-bike on the roadway? So, parents need to be having these conversations. Knock on wood, we've not had a serious accident here locally. But as I said last month, I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's when. And when we do, that's going to be a serious, any vehicle versus pedestrian, bicycle, e-bike, that's not going to be a good accident. So none of them are. So have those talks with your kids and be thinking about that responsibility before you just hand them a vehicle that could cause serious situation down the road.
While some high schoolers utilize e-bikes, he indicates they see them predominantly used by kids at Clinton Elementary School and Clinton Junior High School. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
In the communities we call home, connection means something more. That's why Connexus Fiber Internet combines the strength of a locally owned network with support from people who call this community home. The internet that powers your day should be built with the same care as the community around you. Connexus provides the speed you want, reliability you need, and the service you expect from neighbors who live here too. Luxury speed, hometown heart. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 22 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. DeLand-Weldon schools continue to see repairs moving forward after severe weather in the spring impacted its facilities. School Superintendent Dr. Michael Tresnick explains the finishing touches are being put on the school as they get ready to welcome kids back on Friday. Many may notice ongoing work on the roof, but he says it is preventative maintenance that should be wrapped up soon.
A lot of things going on. As you know, we had the tornado back in end of April, and we're mostly got everything ready.
Good.
Waiting on 2 air conditioning units to get to show up, which that's just the nature of the beast with some of those. But hopefully they'll be here Monday, get those installed. But essentially everything else is done, and people are driving by, they'll notice that they are tearing on the roof again. But we're doing. We worked with our insurance company, and we had a section of the roof that was okay, but we were worried that in the long term might be some issues.
Sure.
So we decided we're going to go ahead and take that all off and replace it too with, and it's being covered by insurance.
Good.
So people will see that going on, but we hope to have that all done before the kids come back on the 21st.
Dr. Tresnick credits the speedy response to the strong relationships the district has with local contractors, as well as the staff and community members who helped to clear items out as water poured from the ceilings.
Well, it started with, the phone call to the insurance company, and they basically said, get going.
Yeah.
We understand. And so we had some really good contractors that we had a relationship with before, had done some work for us before, and contacted them and says, hey, can you, how fast can you man up? And they got out there pretty quick to help us out. And so that made all the difference, is that, good local contractors that were willing to work with us and get the job done. So makes a difference having those relationships, and we were able to move forward. So really happy with how it came together, and, don't want to have to go through that again, but when you do, and and it worked out, and I have a great staff over there, that both custodial and the teachers and everyone working together to try to make the best of a bad situation. And it's come out really well.
While there are often new renovations to surprise students at the start of the school year, Dr. Tresnick looks forward to students and staff getting to see the new classrooms that had been flooded just a few months ago.
It's interesting to watch them. I mean, especially the last couple of years, we had done a lot of renovations in the building. So they walked in the door. It's like, oh, wow, look at these changes. We had put in the drop ceilings and all that. I think this year for the elementary, their first thing is they're going to look at that end that got hit by the tornado, and they're going to see it's back to normal.
Yeah.
The ceilings are installed, the lights are installed, everything's cleaned up. So they're going to see that, yes, we got everything back to normal. But it's always good to see the kids there and the parents. The kids will never admit to wanting to get back to school, but deep down, they do. I think for a lot of kids, getting back on that schedule, getting into that routine, they really desire that. They just don't want to admit to desiring that. And I think they look forward to it. They look forward to getting around their friends and just knowing what every day looks like. And so we look forward to seeing them, getting the kids back and getting going.
Follow along with all the back-to-school updates and information by visiting dwschools.org or by finding their Facebook page. The ag community continues to respond to Tyson Foods' announcement of closing the Joslin, Illinois meatpacking plant. Reaction from the Illinois Farm Bureau President Philip Nelson, who was asked about the issue during Ag Day at the Illinois State Fair last Friday.
Well, when we operated a cattle feedlot, we shipped cattle into that location, so I know it well. I guess the immediate response, there's 2,500 people that don't have a job today, number one. And then number two, where do we source those cattle to what other locations? And it's going to cost farmers money because of transportation, no matter where they go. Somebody made the comment to me, well, maybe producers ought to look at putting together a harvesting plant. We've done that in the past, and it's very tough to crack that market. So a lot of unanswered questions in day two. I've heard from producers that had loads scheduled to go in today, and they were called off. So it was immediate. So we're still trying to work through that. I think the Beef Association has had their pulse on this from the very get-go. We're watching and seeing what they say as they lead us into that.
Tyson Foods is also closing a plant in Utah and is consolidating into key hubs like Amarillo, Texas. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, remains top of mind for Don Gwinnett and Illinois Corn.
It is extremely important. All the corn farmers in the Midwest need to understand that our trade with Mexico, with Canada, our trading partners, we just need to continue this good relationship, and it is just absolutely imperative that we continue this and that we get that passed through and in some form. If it needs to be tweaked, we understand that, but we are just very dependent on those markets, and they're right here. They're easy. The trains run to Mexico every day with our corn and all the other products, and so that's a higher priority as we could have, I would say.
Gwinnett farms 900 acres in Clark County in eastern Illinois. Topsoil moisture condition ratings both nationally and in the Midwest improved from the previous week thanks to significant rainfall in the region. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news is now.
At SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. On the heels of President Trump's announcement that he plans to meet with North Korea's dictator by year's end, is word of another North Korean missile launch. South Korea's military says the North has fired off about 10 short-range ballistic missiles toward the sea. Another night of terror for war-weary civilians in Ukraine as Russia launches another large-scale attack, reports of at least 16 people killed. The national debt hits another record high, soaring to $40 trillion. It's still growing. President Trump, meanwhile, continues to rail against Fed interest rate policies. Federal aviation safety investigators converging on an airport near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's where a small plane, a Cessna, collided last evening with a state police helicopter. The pilot of the plane was killed. 2 state troopers were injured. The Dow futures down 131 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Progressive knows you want to get away, but not like too away. You crave the unknown, but also charcuterie boards with 4 types of cheese. And that's exactly why you bought an RV and bundled it with Progressive, because 24/7 protection is one luxury you'll never have to give up. So go ahead, explore the wilderness, all from the comfort of your zero-gravity camp chair. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurance. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, y'all, I'm Willie Robertson.
And I'm Corey Robertson.
We partnered with Echo. It's a new platform, not just streaming.
Movies and series that are safe for your family.
Echo.
I love a podcast.
Plus, Echo Daily Devotionals.
Echo. Hey, Willie, what is Echo?
Echo is my pet squirrel. Okay, now, Echo is not just faith-friendly, it is faith-driven.
Be a part of something better.
Echo.
Echo.
It's where I want to be.
That's EKKL.com.
Subscribe now.
From the Heart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sportswire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Jose Urquidy pitched 6 innings of crisp 2-hit relief. Rookie Braden Montgomery drove in 2 runs, and the Chicago White Sox topped the crosstown Chicago Cubs 3-0 on Wednesday to salvage the finale of a 3-game series at Wrigley Field. Montgomery had 2 hits, including a 2-run double off the glove of Cubs first baseman Michael Busch in the 8th. Andrew Benintendi broke a scoreless tie with an RBI single in the 6th, as the White Sox rebounded from a pair of walk-off losses and ended an 8-game losing streak at the iconic Northside Ballpark dating to August 2023.
A swing and a base hit to center. Here comes Vargas around third. He's going to be sent by Dersley. The throw to the plate, late. Great send. It's 1-0.
The White Sox and Cubs split their 2026 series 3-3. The Cubs lead in the all-time interleague matchup 80-78. Opener Sean Newcomb tossed 2 hitless innings. Urquidy was 2-1 and entered in the 3rd and struck out 8 without a walk. Grant Taylor pitched the 9th for his 7th save and completed a 2-hitter.
3-2. He got him swinging. Urquidy comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on a low curveball. 0-2. Got him swinging. He strikes out 3, and they leave 1. A pitch called strike 3 on a fastball. Okay. 1-2 called strike 3. Boy, he's dealing. 5 strikeouts for Jose Urquidy. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 6 Ks for Urquidy. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a changeup. 4 straight strikeouts for Urquidy. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hap's really upset. This might be the best run of strikeouts mid-game by any White Sox pitcher this year.
Clay Holmes is 5-6 and was sharp in a second straight start and 3rd overall for the Cubs since they acquired him at the trade deadline from the Mets. The right-hander allowed 1 run on 6 hits in 5 1/3 innings, walking 2. Number 9 hitter Tyrone Taylor, acquired from the Mets along with Holmes, had the Cubs' only 2 hits. Taylor led off the 6th with a double, but was thrown out at 3rd trying to advance on Pete Crow Armstrong's fly to right.
There's a swing and a line shot to Braden. He'll make the catch. Here comes the throw to 3rd. They're going to get him by a mile. Oh, Tyrone Taylor out by 20 feet. Braden Montgomery with a seed. He did everything right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, he got behind the ball just enough where he had momentum to get behind his throw. Taylor, on the other hand, did everything wrong. Taylor was a little bit off the bag, and the ball was already caught. He had 1 stride to get back, tag the bag, and then get his momentum going back toward third base.
White Sox left fielder Sam Antonacci made a leaping catch of Alex Bregman's drive against the Ivy for the first out of the 7th to help preserve a 1-0 White Sox lead.
0-1. Bregman hits a high fly out in the left. That's trouble. And Antonacci leaps. He made the catch. Wow, he caught it right below the basket. What a play.
We're talking about the ones that can just get in that basket. And Antonacci timed his jump perfectly. Had a snow cone catch with Urquidy pumping his fist on the mound.
The White Sox added 2 runs in the 8th off Ryan Rollison. Miguel Vargas walked, then pinch hitter Randall Grichuk and Montgomery followed with doubles.
Ground ball. Fair ball off the glove of Bush. It'll kick in the foul ground. 2 runs are going to score. Braden at second with a double. And White Sox fans are making some noise here at Wrigley Field. It's 3-0.
White Sox lefty Anthony Kay is 9-5 with a 4.01 ERA. And faces Atlanta right-hander Grant Holmes, who's 7-5 with a 3.82 ERA on Thursday at Rate Field. It's a makeup of a June 11th rainout. The Cubs are at Seattle on Friday with starters yet to be announced. Sal Stewart hit a 3-run home run, and the Cincinnati Reds added runs on a throwing error and an infield hit, rallying for a 5-4 win over the St. Louis Cardinals on Wednesday night. Matt McLain doubled and Ellie De La Cruz singled before Stewart stepped to the plate in the 6th with the Reds trailing 2-0. Stewart's 27th homer of the year traveled 422 feet over the center field wall. Stewart is the 3rd fastest Reds player to surpass 100 RBIs since 1920. His 94 RBIs lead the MLB this season. Leading by a run in the 8th, McLain reached first on a throwing error, and Jose Trevino scored on the play. Dane Myers dropped a run-scoring bunt later in the inning that stretched the lead to 5-2. Red starter Chase Burns struck out 8 and allowed 2 earned runs and 6 hits with 2 walks in 5 innings. Reliever Sam Maul is 2-7 and pitched the 6th inning to earn the win, allowing 1 hit and a walk with a strikeout. Nathan Church and Brian Torres had RBI singles for the Cardinals in the 4th inning. Jordan Walker hit a 2-run home run in the 9th, his 25th, as the Cardinals closed within a run. With 2 outs in the ninth, Jose Fermin doubled and advanced to third on a wild pitch to Mason Wynn. Wynn tapped the ball back to closer Emilio Pagan, who threw him out at first to end the game. Pagan earned his 16th save. Cardinals starter Matthew Liberatore is 5-11 and struck out 9 in 6 innings and took the loss. Cardinals righty Michael McGreevy is 5-9 with a 3.48 ERA and will start against Reds right-hander Brady Singer, who is 5-11 with a 4.66 ERA on Thursday. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Detroit Tigers 4-3, while the New York Mets took down the San Diego Padres 4-2. The Minnesota Twins beat the Atlanta Braves 6-4, while the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Boston Red Sox 7-6 in 10 innings. The Philadelphia Phillies took down the Miami Marlins 4-1, while the New York Yankees beat the Baltimore Orioles 5-3. The San Francisco Giants blanked the Cleveland Guardians 1-0, while the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Toronto Blue Jays 7-6. The Kansas City Royals took down the Athletics 9-7, while the Seattle Mariners took down the Milwaukee Brewers 7-5. The Washington Nationals shut out the Texas Rangers 6-0, while the Houston Astros beat the Los Angeles Angels 3-2, and the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Colorado Rockies 6-4 in 10 innings. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sportswire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist